Alright, so today we are going to create a die. So we'll start off with the cube, obviously. Scale it up. Now right now the pivot, which is the center of this grid, is right in the middle, which is fine. If you wanted to make it a corner, you could. And now let's add some divisions to this guy. So under your modeling toolkit on the right here, go to add divisions, and we're going to set this number to 2, enter. We'll do something like this. Now it's not going to be like a perfect die, but this is going to be, it'll work for our purposes, I think. Yeah. Okay. I'm thinking that you could like take these faces and like push them down, but because what we're going to do is we're going to put circles on these intersections, and they could probably stand to be a little closer to the edge, but let's not worry about that today. We'll just go ahead and do it from here. So let's go ahead and create some spheres, or one sphere. And you need this sphere to be a size that you could put like 6 of them all in a line right here. So you also want to make sure it doesn't have too many faces on it, because right now our face count, we started off at tries, 952, and this guy right here has, well, I don't know why it's not showing us, but oh, there we go. This is 192, and this is I'm not sure why it's not clicking off there. Anyway, this is going to be much more. So we want to get that try count as low as possible. So I'm going to go to the attribute editor under polysphere 1, and I'm just going to change the, right here, polysphere 2, change the subdivision axis to 10 and 10. And yeah, that looks kind of gross. Let's try 16. That's better. Okay, so just a little less. You can see it's gone down to 672 now. Now I'm going to snap this now to the pivot point right here, and you can see if we do form mode, I just snapped it right there. With this, you're going to have to use that. Now I want to make a duplicate of it and snap this one to here. And you can see there's a little overlap, which means this is a little too big. So let me go into this one, but delete the other one and just scale it down just a smidge. Now, when I Control D to duplicate it, Control D, let's take all of these guys with Shift, Control D, and they should pop right there. That's our 6. Alright, let's take the same one, Control D, and let's stick that right there. Now opposite of 6 is going to be your 1. So if we want to be like a real die, the opposite sides always add up to 7. So I'll Control D this one, and then on this side let's do, I don't know, I'm not too worried about being completely accurate, but we'll just do a 4 over here. So we're just going to go, and you can see that I'm snapping to those edges. You're not guessing anything here. And we're doing exactly halfway through with our snaps here. The circle should be exactly halfway through the cube. Okay, so 4 over here means 3 on the other side. So let me get this guy over here. Control D, move him there. Oop. And Control D, move him there. So there's a 3, or 4, or 1, or 6. Now we just need 2 and 5. So I'll get this, Control D, move that up here. Control D, push that one over there. Control D, let's pull this down to the bottom. So 5 is going to be, oops, what's going on here? Why is it snapping? Control D. There's too many things going on here. I gotta make sure those are snapping in the right spot. Yeah, it looks like it. And then last, we got one more right here in the middle. That looks right. Okay. Now, we have to do a Boolean. And normally I say don't do Booleans, but you know, in this case I think we're going to be good. Before we do that, this might be a good chance to UV map it, because we're not going to make any huge structural changes. Let's just make sure the UV map looks good. And I think it's going to be fine. We shouldn't have too much to do on this. For the sake of this project, we might want to try dividing this into a bunch of different sections. But you know what? Let's not worry about it. You can see there's a nice perfect square there. I could separate that and create its own little thing. So you'd have each face of the die could be kind of its own little section here. That doesn't really make sense to you now, but what's going to happen is when you paint this, which is what's going to be the next part of this, it's going to be easier if these are separated. Whereas if they touch, there's going to be it's going to be hard to get those lines perfect, but it's fine. So let's get into object mode, and we'll select the cube first, and then with shift, you're going to select every sphere. If you make a mistake, you can just Z back. Missed that one. Come on. Here. Alright, looks like I got them all. Then you go into your modeling toolkit and you just hit Boolean. And you want to choose difference. It should do this. Now our try count's at 6,000, which is way too much for a small die. If we were being, you know, if this was like a minor set piece in the game. But let's just go ahead and say it's a big part of the game for whatever reason. You can see it looks like this now. Not bad. We're still kind of in N64 land though, because of these edges. They're just way too sharp. If you look at an actual die, very rounded edges, generally. So, we're going to go into edge mode, double click on all, 1, 2, 3, I don't know how many, bunch of every single edge. Double click selects the whole thing. Make sure you get every single one. There shouldn't be any blue areas. It should all be orange. Okay. Now I go into bevel. And 0.5 looks about right. Let's add a few more segments here. Let's try 6. Maybe 5. Yeah, that looks good. That looks like a die. That's nice. Really nice. And if we look at the UV map, we can just make sure it got a little weird once we put those circles in. I don't know what it's trying to do here with these. What is? I don't even know what the. Oh, those are the circles. It's trying to kind of do some weird stuff with them. Let's just try a UV automatic, and hopefully this will get this figured out for us. It got pretty complicated. That is a shame. Those Booleans kind of made life tough for us. I mean, I guess we can go with it. As long as we have... I mean, this is really the only part that we care about. And it's actually kind of nice that they're separated now. Should make it a lot easier. And then these inner parts, yeah, it's fine. We can just paint them all black really quick. Okay, it'll be a little time consuming, but just imagine this was Photoshop and you had to paint this in. That's basically what we're looking at is our next step. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to File, Export, Selection. We're going to export this as a static mesh die. Put it in your documents. And export selection. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to paint this. Alright, see you guys.